Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you a 10 versus 10 on the sword map. Now I don't often play 10v10s, but for this one I made an exception to show off the map and of the big combined fighting that can go on. But yeah, this is Sword Beach, as you can see. The beach right here. Looks absolutely awesome, this map. I love it. Especially considering like the beach is so close to this town. The front here, very, very cool. Depicts that very, very well. And then we also have the canal over here. That heads all the way up to the top where there is Pegasus Bridge. That's awesome. And obviously the inlet here as well, with the second canal on the other side. Really, really nice map. Lots of strategic points throughout. Over on the left side, a couple towns. We've got a town here that right at the back, but generally the fighting in the middle there is all about tree lines. Then in this sort of this area, got to fight over these bridges, which is very, very awesome. Then as you move further to the right, well, you got a big old town here that's a lot of contention going on. Same around here. If the red side can get into the town on that side, then generally it's pushed in quite hard. And then over on the far side over here, it's the same, but with this town. So the blue side, if they can get a foothold into the bottom side of this town, they'll push in quite hard as well. But I'm actually playing on the German side of things for this one. I'm going to swing the map back round. And I am playing the 17th SS-Panzergrenadiers. I did know a few people in this game, but we weren't really using comms too much. We were on the same TeamSpeak. We weren't actually chatting too much whilst we were playing. Now the game is already underway. I didn't actually place too many troops at the beginning. I only placed a Stug 3 and an SPW-233. It's very interesting. This is the sort of 223. It has just a pretty much machine gun on it. It's a command vehicle. Buffs up the Stug quite nicely, so that's why I bring it in together. Then you get a 3-star Stug from the start, which is awesome. Now, seeing where there was a gap after the beginning of the game, I am going to start bringing in some reinforcements to block off this part just here. As you can see, I'm bringing up some AT guns and some machine guns. And then I also start to bring in some infantry to hit the right flank of this town. So we do have Physius attacking that from the bottom side with his 17th SS-Panzergrenadier division. And at the moment I'm just having my 233 and my Stug move up this sort of centre area. I also have a machine gun coming up to sit in this building here, because this has a very nice sort of coverage. So I'll show that off once the MG's in the building. By the way, the engagement is starting in the town over on this left side. Things are starting to happen as well. We've got Theo with his 222, his Panzer II, and also the Firefly that's just rampaging against the enemy vehicles here. Also taking out the Ranger machine gun very, very easily. As that's pinned down, it's going to get wrecked by the Panzer II. Not really much happening in the town, so ZZA really being able to push on all the way through, no problemo, and they're pretty late to stop that from happening. Again, going to be bringing in some infantry, try and stop that attack. But meanwhile, the main contention happening in this town at the moment, and also over on the right side, on the far right over here, there's also a large amount of forces coming up against each other. Now for the majority of this replay, I am going to just keep it from the neutral perspective so we can see exactly what's going on. I am pretty much aware of what sort of troops I bring in throughout the game. As you can see, I am starting to bring up the infantry that I said I was going to use to flank into the right side of this town. I'm also bringing up my Stug over here. Kept my SPW-233 further back, or the 223. And that's just so that we can cover off in the centre, because I wasn't entirely sure what was going to be pushing against us. Like if I actually do put it to my point of view quickly, you can see that over on the left side is where we're seeing the majority of the units. Where I was in the centre, there actually isn't too much going on here. Can't really see too much, so that's what I was basing my movements upon. And also on this side, I was just bringing up obviously the AT guns. I've also got a 221 with a recon squad there just to try and find out what's going on. But let's set it back to the neutral perspective, and we can continue with this engagement. So yeah, my Stug's slowly moving over to the right side of this town. Looks like this M4A1 is going to be heading over here. I've now got my SPW223 heading up, now that the engagement's occurred more on the right side. So with Akamai actually being engaged here, basically means that not too much on this left side. I can see that by the front line sort of moving more to the right. That's safe for me to move up the 223. I'm going to start to use that to support the infantry that's pushing forwards in this town. Also, my infantry is coming up now, so I'll be able to make use of that soon. And for the majority of the game over on this side things, all of these units don't need to really be reinforced. I do bring up one more infantry unit, and then I think they pretty much sit without doing anything for the rest of the game. And I'm just left pretty much focusing on my attack into this town alongside Fuzzius. Over on the far left, as you can see, the enemy with the Rangers have got pretty close to the top side of this town, but haven't managed to gain a foothold, which is going to allow Dr. Goebbels to try and push on forwards at some point. In the centre, the DZA taking care of the reinforcements from Cocaine in the top side of that town very nicely. And now my infantry has arrived on the right side of the town here. My Panzergrenadier is getting mown down by the multiple rifles in these buildings alongside the M4A1. So I'm going to be bringing down the Stug to try and engage the M4A1. It does have 3 stars. I'm going to hope that gets on target to blow the crap out of the M4A1, and boom, 1 shot, 1 kill, thanks to the 3-star veterancy. Makes that a lot easier to deal with. Yeah, my Panzergrenadier Führer there, going to get pinned down, but didn't actually lose a man. The Panzergrenadier squad, however, did lose a lot of men, but I do have reinforcements already here, so 3 units of Panzergrenadiers now going to be pushing in from the right. The mortars here, the 60mm mortars, are attacking the Stug, so I'm going to be moving on the Stug as well. And I'm going to have the SPW223 help the engagement with its machine gun. Meanwhile, big engagement in the centre. Vladden's trying to make some ground here, but unfortunately because it's so open and there's all these tanks and the M8 Greyhound there, can't really do too much. He's going to get pinned down. Really needs to either provide himself with smoke artillery support or actually get some proper AT there, otherwise it's going to be bogged down for a while. But either way, my engagement is occurring here. I'm actually moving around the SPW223 here to take out these mortars because I really didn't want them to affect my push with the Panzergrenadiers. As you can see, the Stug actually had line of sight just onto that mortar as well, so that was great. The 223 is going to continue to harass the second mortar there. Panzergun's going to be engaging from the tree line. So far, things 50-50 overall. Not too bad. You have Iran and Zhukov actually pushing my teammate in the centre here. And he's down to just a few Panzergrenadier units, so that's a bit unfortunate for him. Over on the right side, things not looking great either. Because he is using a Luftlander deck on the far right, there isn't actually too much there to stop the enemy from pushing all the way through. Also, we are struggling a little bit on this flank. Multiple units coming our way. Akamai trying to deal with all of that. Is bringing up some reinforcements of his own now. And I'm continuing on my push in the right side of this town. I see my Panzergrenadiers slowly moving up, trying to get them as close as I can before I unload them, because I really want to get them into these buildings as soon as possible. I do manage to spot these Ranger Marauders. We are going to start trying to pin those down. Just going to let my Panzergrenadiers get into cover. Already could have brought down my Stug. That would have been able to fire down the road into this house, which would have been nice. SPW223 could have also been useful with this machine gun, but I wasn't really using them. Still able to push forwards these Panzergrenadiers though. You see them running up the street there. What I'm going to do is try and run these chaps into Ranger Marauder's house, and maybe we can kill them off in close combat. So that's what I was hoping to do. As you can see, my Panzergrenadiers aren't going to take a lot of damage, but do just about manage to do the job. And now they can open up on the rifle squad there. So my Stug's still sitting over here. I think I was wary of this M4A1 that came down. I believe that made my 223 retreat initially. I had to like fast move away from that. I was trying to keep my Stug covering the Panzergrenadiers just in case they came down to attack us. But now I'm finally moving the Stug into position to shoot down the road. And that is going to do so in order to help pin down the enemy rifle squad. Akamai is bringing up some 259s to help deal with all of these command carriers and the Honey Stewarts. Also bringing up an AT gun there. My push continuing into the side of this town. Now thankfully supported by Fuzzius's mortars. He was doing a great job with those, and pinning down each of these infantry squads just allowed me to push forward to the Panzergrenadiers and force them to surrender, so that was working out quite nicely. Bombs coming in onto my SPW223, going to force that to retreat. My Panzergrenadiers there do get pinned down, unfortunately. They do fall back in a very strange way, but it's okay. Now getting some Panzergrenadier reinforcements from Fuzzius coming up. Enemy mortar is going to start to hit me hard. These new 107mm mortars from the 2nd Infantry, really horrible to play against, honestly. And you can see they are doing a lot of damage, a lot of morale damage to these Panzergrenadier squads. So these Panzergrenadiers, they're currently trying to pin down these rifles in the road as they try and move across. I'm going to start moving my Stug up there to support that squad now. But since we've pinned down these squads here, the mortars do actually take them out. This squad on the far left will be approached upon by Fuzzius. I'm just going to keep my units a little bit further back because they are pretty low on health at the moment. Luke now moving up to help out. If I just set it to my point of view, we can see exactly what units I'm controlling. Got loads of reinforcements coming up here. Got an MG squad, a few more Panzergrenadiers to help push in the town. And of course I've still got the units over on the far right here, which are just providing some presence and stopping the front line from collapsing there. Over on the right otherwise, well, we are pretty spread out, honestly. There wasn't too much here. I think we only had, what, 2 players actually playing on this right side, whereas they obviously have like 3 or even 4 players pushing on that side. Over on this side of things, well, although Vladden's actually lost a lot of troops, they weren't actually pushing up against him. And now he's doing a lot of damage with these 221s and his Stug. Still pushing forwards with the 259 there, Akamai. In the centre, Akamai is going to be bringing in loads more reinforcements. This time, looks like Panzergrenadiers in half tracks. Well, I've made a lot of ground into the right side of this town now. Having helped Fuzzius secure the centre, I've decided to push forwards to this right side. Unfortunately, the Ranger Marauders do reveal themselves and take out one of my armoured cars. Really sucked. My command armoured car, they're going to go down. I think they also managed to take out my Stug at some point. I'm not entirely sure where it's gone. But yeah, it did get taken out. And I was left mainly down to just infantry. Yeah, if I set it to my point of view, I have brought up some more units to the centre. I'm also bringing in an ME-109 with these rockets. That was targeting something at the back, the mortar I believe it was. Did bump into multiple lightnings though. Actually does manage to get out of there even with all of those lightnings around, so that was pretty spectacular. Over on this side, this Multier is actually bringing up one of the very large jumbo killer AT guns, the Pak 43. Drop that off into this tree line to help Vladen against the upcoming armour. Right side still holding relatively strong for now. I am managing to kill off a Stuart there with my new Panzer IV. There's also an M10A1 destroyer coming up the road now. Though that M10 is going to take a little bit of mortar fire. Scanning along the battlefield, we can see that Theo is making quite a lot of ground. ZDZA has been held back in the centre. Let's just put it back to neutral. As you can see, that Cocaine has actually managed to get some troops into the top side of this town. Still quite a disparity here. Our team's currently running at 516 points over the enemy. But it's currently back to a 50-50. Over on this side, for example, there really isn't anything left defending there. So I'm going to have to bring in some reinforcements for that side to make sure that it doesn't collapse entirely. Again, if we go back to my point of view, you can see that I'm now covering this side with my Pak 43, and now covering this side with all of these new AT guns and infantry. I'm covering here as well, just sort of filling the gaps for my team really throughout this game. And now we're at a +1, especially making a lot of ground here, ZDZA. So Vladen's anti-air going to be enough to deter Spitfire Mark 9. Now a lot of ground being made here. All of these Bren Group and so on being forced to surrender. We don't really have much AT, only the rifle leader has a Piat. The rest of them have been completely overrun. And even if this 6-pounder revealed itself at the moment, I'm pretty sure the 232 could definitely take that out very quickly. Overall, I have been pushed back a little bit to the top side of this town, but just holding my ground now in these few buildings. Fuzziest is going to be trying to move up on the left side of me. My machine guns had run out of ammunition here, but I was pretty safe with having the Panzergrenadiers just held back for now. Panzer IV is just waiting in an ambush position to try and take out the M10 tank destroyer. Now Akamai has just left our team, and you will see more people leave throughout the game. So the Panzer IV almost coming into line of sight of the M10. Bringing up a supply vehicle to resupply these Panzergren's machine guns. Yeah, the Flak 36 actually being the target of the M10, so my munition truck actually manages to get all the way through without being touched, which was great. Yeah, the idea here, just to resupply my machine guns so I can use them against the enemy infantry. Enemy M4A1 and the M10 going to be engaging my Panzer IV, and boom, an M10 without any veterancy one-shots my Panzer IV. That was rather unlucky from me, but there we go. Over on this left side, our Dr. Goebbels alongside Theo doing a fantastic job. Now we're in phase B of crushing through the enemy defences. Gooseman really faltering here, leaving his 107 mortar to be killed. A couple of duck munitions as well there. once all of these units have been destroyed, well, those duck munitions are going to be handed over to Dr. Goebbels. Here goes the xylophone, trying to stop the push from Theo so much. Currently, only really about 5 units of infantry in the way of all of Dr. Goebbels and Theo's troops, so they're going to end up punching through there, and we're definitely still making a lot of ground at the top of this town. So Panzergrenadiers are going to pin down some of these rifles. Was a bit wary about running and chasing those down. I was also wary about the M10 and M4A1 moving down the right side of the town, but not really much else I can do in that situation. Pack 43 is going to be pushing up. I was slowly wheeling that forwards. That is going to take out an M5A1 there. Over on this right side, a couple of Pack 40s just covering positions, and I do have the Panzergrenadiers covered by the Panzergrenadführer moving up on the right, and well, Pack 43 does pick off the M4A1 there as well, and does continue to fire at other units, takes out the mortar half-track, just shot after shot, landing and basically one-shotting thanks to the 22 AP power. Those things are absolutely beautiful. You really wouldn't be able to push this in real life. Look how big that gun is. You would definitely have to tow it. That's why it comes in with a Multia. The 4 men would never be able to lift that. I am backed up by these Stugs now. And Stug 4s coming in. And I'm just going to put it back to my point of view, and I can show you the rest of the units that I'm using. I just have an MG squad and a Panzergrenadier squad here just holding ground. I've got most of my infantry in the top side of this town now. Not really doing too much at the moment. Sort of waiting for the enemy's advance. Over here, I'm basically focused quite hard on this Pack 43, picking off enemy units. Over on this side, nothing happening. Pretty much nothing happened here for most of the game. Over on the right side, my teammate's having a bit of a hard time, and even further right, well, not looking great either. But Armada 2 going to be here, trying to take out the T-30 and also the AT gun. Over on the left, well, Theo and Dr. Goebbels, it's only a matter of time before they push all the way through, thanks to their half-tracks and tanks. Over in the centre, or further to the right, well, Blitzkrieg is making some ground, and ZDZA has also maintained control of the far side of this town, which is creating quite a spike at the moment in our lines. And we're currently running a +1 for our team still at the moment. We have moved now into Phase C. We are going to be seeing the more endgame units come about. Just set it back to the neutral perspective and we can see exactly what's going on. My Pack 43 finally gets destroyed. And my Stug 4s are forced to fall back. And now with that being hit by the rocket strike there, they're going to start to run forwards with their M4A3s and the M4A1 to get shots onto my Stugs while they are basically stunned. And that's actually a really good thing to do. Like, if you bring in like rocket strikes, even artillery, and then just use the opportunity to just start harassing them with your tanks. Then, for example, as you can see here, like, because they were already so low on morale, they managed to just completely cause that to fall back constantly now. There's nothing I can do in that situation, so I'm just trying to get this Stug 4 onto target. This Stug 4 just took a weapon damage, so that's really bad. Brought up another Pack 43. This is going to be trying to engage the M4A3 there before my Stugs get destroyed. And I'm even going to be bringing up a second Pack 43 eventually. This one with the 2-star veterancy does manage to take out one of the M4A3s. My Stug does go down to the M4A1. Now I'm engaging the Jumbo Pack 43. They're going to try and strafe my Pak 43 with the Spitfire Mark 9. There's also artillery coming in now on top of that AT gun, so I'm going to be having to move that around quite a lot throughout the game. I do have a 233 here, SPW 233. That's just a recon vehicle, providing me with the information I need for my AT guns. Now also bringing up these cXwCe, which are anti-air. I'll be getting rid of these lightnings and enemy airstrikes so that my Pak 43 can stay alive. Whack it back to my point of view quickly. You see that I'm not really doing much in the town. I am slowly moving forward with my Panzergrenadiers and so on, but only house by house. On this side is where the majority of the engagement was, as we just managed to take out a jumbo there, which was awesome. Now he's pushing me here. We've got a load of M3 HTs charging my positions. Thankfully I do have the SPW 231, we have the SPW 233, and also 2 Pak 40s covering this advance. So as he does move on with the infantry in those half tracks, he does actually have them stunned quite significantly. There is of course the jumbo there as well, and now my 233 is going to get hit by the M4A1. So now, as you may be able to see on the mini-map, over on the left side we're making a lot of ground. Dr. Goebbels pushing up on the far left, following the road here. Got many of these mobile wagons and the verbal bins as well, following him up. Theo's managed to push all the way up these tree lines towards the spawn as well. There are loads of ground being made on the left. Meanwhile, over on the right, however, Erdling not doing so well. Black 36 is going to be charged by 2 GMC HMGs, and they're going to get on target at close range and basically pin that down and kill off the crew to cause that to surrender. And the right side is pretty much collapsing. Again, these lot weren't even attacked throughout the game really. Now it's up to Istral to try and hold back the tide of Zhukov and Ran. Right, meanwhile here, SPW 231 is going to be continuing the engagement onto the infantry, and the 40mm Pak guns are going to keep firing at this jumbo, although that jumbo not doing particularly well, but not going to take any damage either, because that massive amount of front armor is incredibly hard to deal with. So my infantry in this town did manage to position further up. It does give us a bit better of a defensive position. This Stug, which had a weapon damage all that time ago, has driven all the way over to my supply truck here. So as you can imagine, this Stug 4 was actually all the way over here by my Pak 43s. I've actually driven it all the way over to my munition truck just to receive more ammunition. Talk about dedication. So I've got 2 Pak 43s here covering this advance. Any jumbos that come up this road should have a nasty surprise. They're going to be covered by the 2 anti-airs there with the 2-star veterancy. At this point I probably should have been moving up my Panzergrenadiers and MG42, so I decided to do so. This Panzergrenadier off to the front line to help us out. Over on the far right, things have just completely collapsed. Erdling basically had no troops left. It's the 36, he's got a Sturt 42, and the Panzer 39 is just running away since it suffers from a weapon damage. Put it back to the neutral perspective and you can see exactly what's going on. Do manage to destroy another jumbo with a Pak 43. And we're also seeing a 17-pounder being brought up. That is going to be firing at my Pak 43, but the Pak 43 is going to be able to return some good fire as well. So Dark is going to be moving forwards, a lot of infantry, supported by tanks and so on. Doing very, very well for his team on the right side. Tap on our team, unfortunately Erdling wasn't doing as well. Not to worry, I have my own things to worry about at the moment. Pack 40s are trying to take out the Jumbo still, and now being charged at with infantry. So we managed to take out the ones in the open, but there's also the arm leader down here. Going to be hitting the Jumbo with the NE-109 just to cause a bit of panic for that. And just trying to stop the arm leader from taking out my Pack 40 now. I really just want to make them start to fall back and then maybe capture them. That's the plan. Meanwhile at the town, just still sort of adjusting my troops, but I wasn't planning to push forwards from the town because we would have had to push across the open, as you can see. But meanwhile on the left, well, a lot of ground being made by my team. Dr. Goebbels pushing forwards with the Gs. He's a 2-star veterancy with the Befehl Panther as well. So any reinforcements coming in here now, especially armor, is going to get destroyed so quickly by these Panthers. And well, Theo is moving forwards with 3 Panther Gs in the centre as well. Well, 2 Panther Gs and a BF Panther as well. And they're all going to be moving up. He's even got a Panzerwerfer there just to dislodge enemy defensive positions. There's quite a lot of engagement going on in this town between ZDZA and his opponent. Loads of Thunderbolts coming in there to take out a recon vehicle. It was a bit overkill, but I let it happen. Vladden's going to be using these Nebelwerfer 41s to try and pin down the Churchill 6 there. Now we see a Wirbelwind and my AA trying to deter their aircraft. I believe I did actually lose the Pack 43 that was in the centre here, and now this one's being hit by artillery as well, so I was trying to get away from that for the majority of the game. I was very surprised that we didn't actually see Vladden's Stoßtrupp take out the HMC there, but hasn't decided to do so just yet. More airstrikes coming in, and now I'm just bringing up this Recon 233 so that they can get into a position to maybe take out the Jumbo. But it looks like Physius has got that sorted for me, as he does manage to hit a side shot with the Ju-87 into the Jumbo. So great job there, relieves this side. However, the right flank is completely dead, and well, what I'm going to have to start doing is reinforce the right side. So actually taking it upon myself to plug another gap in our defences. I already plugged, what, 1-2 gaps? And I'm helping like advance and take this town. But now I'm also going to start to bring in some reinforcements to defend against the push on the far right. But I do so a little bit later on. Meanwhile, over on the left, well, Dr. Goebbels has reached almost the top of the map now. Loads of AA here. Got all of these mobile wagons and the Wirbelwinds coming up. And the Gs and the BF Panther pushing on to the 57mm AT guns. There are a lot of AT guns here, but with each of the shots coming in, like each 3 at a time, see they do a lot of damage. There's not really much you can do about that unless you manage to get the ambushing sort of side shots onto those Panthers. There's Panthers in the front armour though, well, they still have 13 front armour. They're still pretty substantial, especially against 76mm AT guns, which only have 14 AP. Really nice Panzerwerfer there. Helps get rid of the last of the AT guns, or the second to last, and does a lot of damage to the rifles in the process. So that allows Theo to continue to move forwards with his Sturm Pioneers, and so on. Let's just whack this back to my point of view quickly, and we can see exactly what I'm up to. You can see that I have a few units in the centre here. Unfortunately, both of my AT guns eventually died. My AA is now 3-star vetted thanks to the SPW233. I brought that in. Infantry in the town's not really doing too much. I've got Stug 4 covering the left side. Over on this side, well, I've got my Pack 40 trying to help out with the M5A1s that are charging that side. And even further to the right, well, I've now got a bunch of reinforcements coming in to stem the flow coming up this road. That was really what I started to focus on towards the end of this game. Thankfully, I did have teammates bringing in strikes with their aircraft. That really helped me out as well, especially by making them fall back. Also bringing in my own bombers, Ju-88s with the two 500 kilogram bombs, straight on the enemy tanks. Just gonna keep making them fall back, and then I can get my own tanks into position in order to kill them off. I've got this Stug 4 here now. It's 3-star vetted. To be able to sneak through the tree patches supported by infantry. That was the plan. Over on the far left side, well, things are slowly enclosing upon the enemy, and we are actually on a 50% game at the moment. So we're currently 1,268 score in the lead, but yeah, with the 50-50 on the map at the moment, you can see like it's just a big old diagonal. The right flank collapsed, and we won on our, well, the right flank collapsed and we won on our left flank. Go back to my point of view. I'm aware of that M4A1 approaching, so I'm going to try and get the Stug into a position to ambush that. Meanwhile, I'm just going to push Panzergrenadiers and Sturm Pioneers through the tree lines, supported by the SPW232. Meanwhile, in the centre, like some counter artillery going on, and I managed to control all of those Stuarts pretty well. You can see they're all a burning mess in this field. Engagement is happening on this right side, so my Sturm Pioneers getting wrecked incredibly quickly. Going to be bringing in the bomber there to wipe out the enemy infantry squad. That was a command squad, so pretty important I bring that out. Take that out. Enemy vehicle is going to be revealing itself. And I was trying to kill that off with the Stug. Now an M4A1 Rhino and another tank coming in to try and take care of my Stug 4, maybe with a side shot. But Stosstroop there are going to take out one of the tanks, and the ME-109 takes out the second with its rockets, which was interesting. You don't often actually see that. Yeah, in the middle, nothing too much going on anymore. Over on this side, where I've got the extra AA, again, not too much happening because both of my AT guns were dead. Over on this side, it's just a weak sort of skeleton force, which is fine. So I'm just pushing all of my resources and all my effort into the right side now, just so we can make back some ground, get back that extra %, because if we can push back this right side even to 50-50, we'll be sitting at a lovely like 54-55% territory lead due to how much ground we've made on the left side. Having the Stosstroop engage some rifles and defeat them was very nice. We also had the Panzergrenadiers destroying some of the units there. My Stug does get absolutely annihilated by an enemy tank at close range. If we go to the neutral perspective, we can see the M4A1 here that did slam my Stug. With the M4A1 having a rotatable turret, it gets on target quicker and generally fires quicker because of it, and they definitely took advantage of that. It looks like Erdling's going to be almost making the same mistake. He's not too careful. Moving forwards his Panzer 39 towards the M4A1. Now I'm bringing in some Panzerschreck squads, and the idea of these was to just clear out the APCs, clear out the tanks, and obviously this M8 Greyhound and stuff, so that we can continue back towards 50-50. The Greyhound being taken out there by what looked like artillery, honestly. too shabby. I'm going to have some fire support here against the M4A1 thanks to Erdling's fighter. Now a bombing strike coming in as well. And with the SOS troop getting close enough, well, that's an ammo explosion from the Panzerfaust, and job done. So definitely making back some ground. We can get rid of this HMG as well, and that breaks the line as well a lot forwards, and is going to be making us the +1 lead for a little while longer. You see back here, massive artillery battery going on. Got the big old SK-18s firing away. A 4,200 meter range, which is very, very nice. So now some engineers pushing forwards in the open over here. They're just going to be pinned down by my 233 and the PaK-40. Meanwhile, if I put it back to my perspective, see exactly what's going on. I'm not really putting any effort into this left side anymore, since my teammates have definitely made a lot of ground. I was too busy watching these Panthers actually most of the time crush so many of their tanks. Over on my side of things, I've managed to sweep through the hedgerow now, thanks to the Panzerschrecks, the SOS troop, the Recon 231, and also the 232 there. They're great for like suppressing infantry at close range and also at like a medium range. So you can just charge them with Panzergrenadiers, and the enemy infantry, when they reveal themselves, you can just smash them with the autocannons of the 232s and the 231s. It's a tactic I love to use on the SS Panzer with the SS Panzer division, but in this one, making the same use of similar units with the SS Panzergrenadiers, and well, with it reaching the limit of 2,000 points, or after 40 minutes of gameplay time, the game does come to an end. I was just starting to make back some ground on the right side, so it looks like it would have just stayed in our favour for the rest of the game if it had continued to go. And here you can see the scores. So myself, I got 3,520 kills to 1,660 losses, which is actually a really nice KD, but look at this. Theo, 4,545 kills to 1,730 losses. And also Dr. Goebbels here, 3,980 losses to 1,015. Very good KDAs, especially ZA as well. So they did an amazing job on that left side. It's a shame that quite a few people left. Blitzkrieg getting 1,990 kills to 30 losses. Fantastic. So our team eventually outclassing theirs in kills and losses for the majority of the cases. As for kills, well, you can see that my Stug did manage to kill an M4A1 and a mortar and a couple of rifle squads, so definitely paid itself off. We have a PaK-43 here picking off a few tanks, which again paid itself off. PaK-40, 75mm. Does manage to pick off a lot of APCs, managed to take out 2 M5A1s, so that was fantastic. And yeah, most of my kills were actually pretty spread out. Wasn't any like super outstanding units, maybe this PaK-43 I guess, and also the PaK-40s. But in general, yeah, no outstanding units. And the majority of the stuff I lost was artillery and airstrikes, so that was a bit of a shame, but there we go. That's all for now, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed the sort of display of the sword map. I actually really like the look of that map, and obviously there is Pegasus Bridge map that we will be seeing eventually, hopefully. So in the meantime, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this one, and I think I probably won't be playing a 10v10 for a while, so enjoy it while you can. But I will be going back to the normal 2v2, 3v3 after this, and I'll see you then. Goodbye.